just as she was coming in.
Wonderful viewers and great Nigerians, you're welcome to your darling station, The Living Television. We're back again today on your favorite program, Issues of the Moment. In today's Issues of the Moment, we'll be looking at the President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurates 21 Naira State House Medical Center in Abuja. Aisha Buhari says no need for overseas treatment for Nigerian presidents. That's what we'll be looking at today, after how many years. As usual, I have our analysts who you love listening to. From my far left, I have Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi is a historian, a tele-evangelist, and also public and political affairs analyst. Comrade, you're welcome to the program.
Good day, thank you for having me, moderator. Good day, viewers out there.
After him, I have Barrister Chukwemeka Wogu. Barrister Chukwemeka Wogu is a practicing lawyer, a security consultant, and also a human rights activist as well. He is in the studio with us. Barrister, welcome to the program.
Thank you, moderator, and good day, viewers.
All right. Let me start with you, comrade. PMB has inaugurated the new 21 billion naira presidential VIP wing of the State House Medical Center, located within the precincts of the State House in Abuja. Speaking at a brief ceremony on Friday, the wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, who accompanied her husband to the event, stressed that the new facility will stop in-season travel abroad by the President and his family members for medical treatment. Let's start with that. Nigeria got her independence in 1960, and all the presidents have been traveling abroad for treatments and so on. And today, the outgoing administration of President Muhammadu Buhari now deem it fit to build, to have a medical center in Abuja.
Yes, there are twists to the development. One of the things to take away is that before now, Aisha Buhari cried out that there were no drugs in the clinic, in the Asura clinic. Said there was no single medicine. They had no dispensary, in fact, nothing. After spending billions of naira to equip that very facility. And today, we have a new one on board. One of the last moment inaugurations of the outgoing administration, where President Muhammadu Buhari had been busy inaugurating, commissioning, marking flag of many projects, including the Dangote refinery that has 650,000 barrels per day capacity in terms of refining. There is something about the whole thing. You see, I wonder why it will go about 21 billion naira to build this kind of facility. I was wanting to know the type of facility this is. Yes, because when you say 21 billion naira, 21 billion naira honestly can fix or can build local clinics, at least in the entire 17 local governments of other states on a moderate level. But I understand this one is a presidential project. But the question to ask is, when did FCT or when did Abuja become capital? And that was 1975 Agoda panel that pronounced that Abuja should, in fact, that made Abuja capital. Then in 1990, against the plan, after the Oka coup, 1990, 1991, Babangida moved the capital from Lagos to the city. So ever since then, Babangida had been military president. He handed over to Ernest Shonekon on the 27th of I think August 1993. Ernest Shonekon was sacked by Abacha on November 1993. Abacha died on June 8, 1998. Abubakar came. Abubakar finished his tenure on 29th of May. Obasanjo came. After Obasanjo, Yar'Adua. After Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan. After Goodluck Jonathan, Buhari. So within the intervening years, we could not fix or we could not build hospital. And now the wife of the president, and we need to ask yourself, how many first ladies have we even had in the first place, including those who want to launch lofty projects, better life, family support program, name them. You understand? Even the so-called child care under the left Stella Obasanjo. Now, this has been done, and now see the remark that it will stop presidents of this country from traveling abroad to access medical attention or on medical talk. You know, it is, I've said it here, it is laughable that Buhari, the first time he left hospital for medical appointment, was on dental appointment. Sorry, ear problem, and he had concluded his marathon with
a dental.
Yes.
The head has been very faulty.
And has now launched a state-of-the-art modern healthcare facility in the ASO. Now telling Tinubu, who had also been going to France and elsewhere to treat himself, that alleviate the cost. Good again, it is going to save us some costs, but I don't think we should be here in the first place. We should have gone steps further than where we are today. And in a country where the Minister of Health will tell them medical personnel to travel anywhere they like, that we have enough, when we know that the WHO doctor to citizen ratio does not favor us, where a minister, okay, that was Minister of Health, where a Minister of Health can tell medical practitioners that they can go to farm and become farmers and then even begin to make clothes like the one you are wearing. So each time the amount of billions of naira for treating the president and then his family. Mind you, we are talking about the first family. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the first family. So if we had been able to replicate or do this across the states, would people like Ekwema to be in prison now?
Yes, yes, I was coming to that. Yes. Council, the First Lady also said that he bought the idea of executing that project in 2017, and that following the extensive stay of her husband abroad for medical treatment, that was what informed what she did.
What she did?
Yes.
What did she do?
That's what she said. She brought. No, yeah, he is right, because he brought the idea of executing this project.
I'm happy. The moderator actually knew where I would come at it from. You see, the truth of the matter is that the entire thing is full of contradictions. First and foremost, the wife of the president does not enjoy any constitutional position. For her to execute that project, it becomes questionable, irrespective of the motive. In the Bible, the ark of God was at a point sliding down. One man had good intentions
to help
Hosea. He went and waged it. He succeeded. But according to the Bible, the Lord slew him there because it was not his job. I don't know the business of the First Lady in this regard. She means well. I perfectly agree. I like the project. I perfectly agree. It is laudable. I perfectly agree. But what is the procedure? When we are questioning certain things, we are a democratic setting where there are laws that have stipulated the way we should go about things. It's not a banana republic. She gets up, she makes a budget, approves it, executes, and calls people to commission, and everybody will be clapping and applauding her. That is not the correct thing. Invariably, maybe she's trying to send a message across to the executive. This is what you people ought to have done. What she has done, actually, if she's the one that did it, is an indictment on the executive arm of the government. It is also an indictment on the legislature. Every year in our budget, this particular Aso Rock or presidential clinic enjoys billions or millions at least of funding. And yet, the First Lady came up with a forensic report or observation that despite the funding, there is nothing in the medical section of the presidential villa. Again, there is another funny contradiction or something that should arouse our curiosity. This project is only an aspect of the medical facility in the presidential villa. If you look at the caption, if the camera could bring it up again, the studio could bring it up again, you will see that it is stated there, it's presidential wing.
Yes.
It is exclusive
To the first family.
Yes.
First family, yes.
Exclusive. That's it. You can see it. It's the presidential wing of the State House Medical Center.
Yes.
It is not the medical center. It is just a specialized part of it that we are using 21 billion naira to
Erect.
whether we are erecting it or funding it or equipping it. The emphasis ought not to be on building structure. That is the problem we are all having in this country. I have built this medical facility. That is not it. What is in it? First, you have to equip it. Then you have to ensure that you get the right personnel to man it. The right personnel will man it, and you must also put in place a succession mechanism whereby the personnel manning the place keep on training up others, because if the doctors there today are, let's just say, 30 years of age, I'm sure they are going to get the best consultants to be manning the place, so they wouldn't be anything less than 30. In 30 years time, 35, assuming they are there today at 30, will be retiring. And what happens? So these are the things that we really need to interrogate and find out. Why would we be equipping or erecting just for the first family 21 billion naira special wing of the medical center, and everybody is clapping? Why would the First Lady be indicting the executive? I'm not saying indicting her husband, because apparently I don't know everything about the head. Seems to be so faulty. The ear is faulty, the tooth is faulty. For some people who have had ear problem, when you have it, it will not allow you to concentrate. If you've had the experience, tooth problem, the same thing. So for a man who has both in one head, it's really problematic. And so you can now begin to understand why every now and then he has to fly out and go check his tooth and his ear and come by. Everything in the head, and the head is what is supposed to govern the entire Nigeria. The next person is coming in. Madam has said there will be no need for the incoming president to be traveling abroad. I also find that quite worrisome. Like I observed earlier, she's not a medical personnel, she's not a medical doctor. We do not know what the incoming president is suffering from. The only thing we know is that every 2 weeks he has to go abroad to get medical attention or thereabout. For her to say it, apparently she knows what he is suffering from, and knows that that place might be taking care of it. But the point made by Comrade, and I buy into it, is that it is insensitive to the rest of the country to equip just one small section with 21. I don't know if the budget for Abia State, medical wise, is up to that 21. I don't know which state in Nigeria, in fact, enjoys up to 21 billion naira funded for its entire health sector in the year. So you are using it, one family, I'm not sure the first family, I'm not sure the number up to 50. But let us give them 50. Everybody in the first family that they number up to 50. And then check the rest of the nation. Over 200 million with less than that. It's not the very best. These are things that should really agitate our minds as a people. And let's begin to ask the proper questions.
All right, the First Lady also said not just about not traveling to, presidents not traveling to London or anywhere to get medical treatment, but they can always bring experts to that medical center to ensure that nobody travels. Now,
that they can do what?
They can bring
in experts.
And
our own experts here are living in droves to those foreign countries.
Those places
they will go there, and then you will now persuade them to come back again by voting money, and at the end of the day you tell me you are fighting corruption.
You see the internal contradiction. I say this administration is working internal contradiction. You should just do fast and pack itself and leave and proceed to
Niger Republic.
Whether Niger or Chad, so I did analysis before now today, so elsewhere. We will try to review this administration, and it's interesting to know that there is no sector that this administration gave a facelift. There is no sector. There is no critical sector in this country. Even if you are to do this administration on the three key areas it campaign. Insecurity, economic and corruption.
Zero.
It was
Zero.
a
3 zeros.
abysmal failure. In fact, below. Now you see, it is ironic that the world, at the moment the world had sought medical personnel from Nigeria, including India, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. These are destinations. There are destinations for these persons trained here. Our own first family or first lady saying they will fly in experts from God knows where to Nigeria. Maybe that very facility was purpose built for a particular thing or condition of health we are not privy to. You understand? But the question we should be asking is, why build it now? And again, it was built with taxpayers' money. People who are not going to access it. And it's unfortunate, you understand? Now, I am aware that at a point in his presidency, Muhammadu Buhari stayed over 100-day period aside the short of over 3 months. What we should be talking about is whether we can have any amendment to the constitution that the president, you see, we are not here to mock anybody, but in all fairness, Buhari was mocking Omar Musayera, calling him unfit when he was sick. But we know that man had heart condition, you understand? Had an internal organ disease. But Buhari's case is even undisclosed. And for that reason, he had toured and gone.
Partly disclosed.
In fact,
ear and tooth. So the head is faulty.
Yes. But then other times when he had done that, including staying for 1 month, I said he stayed outside the shop of the country for over 3 months. And that was when Osibanjo made some appointments. He would come back to review appointments of Matthew Seifa. The president called him eminently qualified Matthew Seifa to help the DSS. After the former guy there, you understand, Naura sent the DSS men and officials who dared the DSS men to barricade or to block access to National Assembly and stopped our elected members from accessing the hallowed chamber. Now, Osibanjo could not take it. After that sack, he appointed eminently qualified Matthew Sehifa, PhD, to man that department. Buhari came back and reviewed it and removed Sehifa, who had about 6 months to 1 year to his retirement, gave him compulsory leave. You understand? He proceeded on that leave. He now appointed somebody from his part of the country. Then another one, Justice Walter Onogen, was also appointed during that time. Buhari came back. We all know what Onogen passed through. You understand what I'm saying now? So perhaps this is more like saying we are trying to consolidate that the president should not be flown abroad again. You understand why he stays here? But that will never solve the problem of a president being physically fit, including having mental and physical coordination to man affairs of a country. If a president is unfit, he is unfit. Just like I know, and it's my personal opinion, that if at all Buhari was our commander-in-chief, he was ungallant. He was not gallant. He was ungallant about it, and he lost his command in several. That he, under his nose, in his own home state, students were kidnapped by bandits. Under his time, or under his a retired general like him, someone we believed in so much that would turn around the country. Now we've seen where we are. So even the health sector,
to go and pray.
We are spending 21 billion naira to equip a medical center that will take care of the presidency. Whereas the medical doctors are on strike. How much are they even looking for? Resident doctors threatened during coronavirus. During coronavirus, right? That they were not being paid hazard allowance. Do you know what that means? Hazard allowance. When there is hazard out there, the pandemic itself is already a hazard. You are not even paying them for taking the risk to treat infected people. Secondly, when during the NSAS protest, hunger was everywhere. We saw how the warehouses were being broken into. You remember that one of the things found there included medical kits. I'm saying kits. Things like glove, drugs, and the rest of them were found inside those warehouses. It's unfortunate for us. So it's just all about misplacement of priority. I am not against building a sort of the art or modern medical equipment in the presidential villa. But when we are doing this thing, are we also doing it in other parts of the country? Unfortunately enough, we are going to Dawara. If I begin to tell you what the attraction, in fact, what has happened to Dawara in the intervening period with Buhari being the president, Dawara has become virtually in fact, heaven on earth in Katsina State, to the envy of non-indigenous of Dawara. Dawara has many facilities, including stadium, including whatever military facility is there now, including even high institutions. So it's unfortunate.
All right, Barrister, looking at this, and then it is also alleged that the incoming president, has been sick and have been going abroad for medical treatment, and now this facility is now ready in Abuja. And with advice of the First Lady who initiated it, according to them, and they're saying that there is no need traveling abroad again, but you can fly in experts into that place. Do you think this is purposely meant for the incoming president, so that we won't waste our money? Because he told us what he suffered when the husband traveled out for more than a month for medical treatment.
Well, let me correct first an impression. It is not being alleged that the incoming president is having some health conditions. His handlers have told us so repeatedly. Whenever he almost at a point was becoming like two weeks on, like the people working at the oil rig would do. 2 weeks onshore, 2 weeks offshore. So they will always tell us he's going for medicals, he's going for medicals. So it's not an allegation, it is coming from his camp.
Okay.
Yes. So it is beyond an allegation, it is established. He has not refuted it. His handlers have been telling us so. It wasn't once, not twice. Now, coming to the question, like I said so, I alluded to it earlier on today, that maybe the First Lady, because she's still the First Lady until the morning of 29th, indeed until Tinubu is sworn in, she remains First Lady. Once Tinubu is sworn in, Tinubu's wife will become First Lady. So the First Lady, Aisha Buhari, yes, may have proceeded from a premise of care and concern in ensuring that that place is done up. But that may not solve the problem of especially cost of maintaining the health of the incoming president, because a person who has to go maybe monthly or 2 weeks for medical attention clearly would need specialized attention, medical attention. And so if that is the case, remember that some of these procedures, especially at that level, it's not something done by one consultant. It's usually done by a team of consultants. So you would talk of their flight, transportation, the team, whatever number they may have, be it 10 or 50, both coming and going back. Water them, feed them, then pay their professional fees, pay for whatever things they are going to use. You may have what you may call consumables, the things that they expend, the drugs, the medications, the reagents, and so on, materials that once they are used, they don't remain there. It's not like scissors or forceps that if you use, you clean it and still remaining there, but the medication and stuff like that. So by the time you put the value of all these things together, you might be dealing with something, if not close to what you still had before, maybe more. The Igbos have a proverb: when they are faced with situations like this, you have exchanged one form of challenge for another. They will say that you know, that's for the Igbos. So you just simply exchange one form of the same problem for another form of it.
All right, she laid so much emphasis on not going to abroad again, and also she said that this health, that it is for the health and wellness of the first family.
Yes,
exclusively.
Yes. It's there now. Look at it. Look at the screen. Presidential. It's not even for other people in Aso Rock. It's not.
I do not think that this should mean that we have now arrived at the place where we can say, let us elect all manner of persons into the FCT, whether they are sickly or whether they are healthy. Yes, you see, I am for many things. We say interrogation. The National Assembly itself, in fact, this is the weakest assembly we've ever had, this 9th assembly, and I am disappointed. Their only achievement is building relationship or trust
with the executive.
With the executive. That's their only
because
we shouldn't be where they're talking about the president is leaving in 4 days, and he had that audacity to throw to the floor of the National Assembly letter seeking for $660 something million loan.
No, it's okay. Together,
something million loan, 222 billion naira loan, and 98 million pound loan, and again $800 million loan again. What for? And then again, he's seeking to award judgment debt through promissory notes, and they're also looking at the National Assembly to restructure the ways and means advances 23.7 trillion naira to a period of 40 years. You understand? And they also issue, I think, either bond certificate with interest of 9% for 40-year period. Where does it happen? And this is the National Assembly should be the one interrogating this. Even when that project was actually begun, it should have been able to say, we are bringing you Minister of Health, those who should at least have a hand in this project, Minister of Health, Minister of Finance, at least the two of you, come and tell us why we should use this amount of money to build one single equipment, when we know that there is no other medical facility anywhere in the country, including federal medical centers, that can measure up with this. You see, when you talk about healthcare assessment, that you say primary healthcare means there should be a place where people who have maybe things like malaria, tuberculosis can go and be treated free of charge. Then you say secondary, then it also has that category. Then even tertiary, it means healthcare should be robust. But unfortunately, the law is that every ward should have a clinic. Ask yourself, the ward we are today, this ward, is there any clinic here? Yet somebody, I am not envying anybody, but I'm trying to say something. You see, this is one of the ways the government should look at it lacks accountability. Because if the National Assembly were alive to its responsibility, the most important conversation should have been, or one of the things has stayed aside the short of it for more than 1 month in the name of treatment. Anduaka, the then Attorney General said he could root from sick bed, including from Saudi Arabia. He can root from anywhere. The country was almost suspended. The fact was almost headed towards anarchy and chaos until the doctrine of necessity prevailed. Buhari, who was the vocal critic of Omar Musa, had actually taken much unwarranted leave. You understand? To treat himself. So what we should be saying is, can we have a constitutional amendment that says this is the number of days a president should, because we are talking about somebody elected by over 200 million persons to manifest in this country. You guys said the short of this country to treat yourself for over 3 months. I'm saying that President Muhammad Buhari stayed outside here for over 100 days. Do you know what that means?
I'm not aware of any country in the world where their leader would stay for more than 1 week.
Nelson Mandela died in South Africa.
Outside the country.
Nelson Mandela died in South Africa. Even Nnamdi Azikiwe died in Nigeria. All of them are good. They all died here. So why is it a changing narrative in the photo?
All right, we are going to go on a very short break. When we come back, issues of the moment will continue. As we come back, we'll be looking at why the first family alone, because talking about the family, it is not, this time it's not the presidency. We're talking about the president. And so when we come back, we are going to look at it. Don't go away.
Presidency will not come near it.
All right, we'll be back shortly.
Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me,
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on Satview channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain cum Serie A, Italy cum Bundesliga, German League 1, and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries, and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Judges Street off Ikoregbane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900. Signed, Management.
allow me,
Wonderful viewers, I'm glad you're still there watching your wonderful television, the Living TV. It's still issues of the moment. That's what we are talking about. We are discussing the inauguration of the 21 billion naira, State House Medical Center in Abuja. All right, Council, I am coming to you. Aisha Buhari said that this facility is for the health and wellness of the first family. What happens to the other members of the presidency? We have the president and the presidency.
Well, the person who built the edifice has clearly stated who it is for. And if you are sensible, if you have common sense, which we know is not common, and you do not belong to the first family, you should know that it will be very risky for you to, and embarrassing, most embarrassing, irrespective of your rank or level in government, to begin to try to approach that place, because nobody will talk to you. You are either a member of the first family or you are not. They know themselves. You and I are not among We are the taxpayers, but we are not among. It's very, very sad. Even those running around, all those people you see running around them, the ones carrying cameras, the ones in black suits, the ones preventing people from coming near, the ones in Babariga and cap and so on. Well, they are excited that the project is being commissioned.
They are witnesses alone.
That's it. Passengers, just passers by. How I wish that they know that they have no business near that place. Maybe if they do, they might have viewed their own attendance and participation in the commissioning differently. The name alone has excluded them from it. It's very, very embarrassing. It's something that could have been used even to fund medical centers in Abuja. Let's start from there. National Hospital.
Yes.
What these doctors keep on, the NAD, National Association of Resident Doctors, what they keep on complaining about first is equip the medical facilities. It is one thing to build a structure. Just build it. You have built a structure. Yeah, go there. I built it. No. At the end of the day, you have to maintain it, paint it, change parts of it that are getting spoiled or dilapidated, and most importantly, equip it with the modern, up-to-date facilities. And you not only equip it, it's not a one-off thing you do. As you buy and they are being put to use, wear and tear takes place. So you continue changing them, repairing them. In addition to that also, you take care of the personnel manning those equipment. You do not expect somebody who is sick to be attending to another sick person, or somebody who is angry and hungry. The man has school fee to pay for his children. He has not eaten, and you are there shouting no work, no pay. You expect him to come around and do the work. You have not paid him, but you expect him to come on empty stomach. That cannot work. So rather than spend all our money on one facility, it is not even the entire medical facility for Aso Rock, just an appendage to it. Just an aspect of it called the prison. But in it, of the, yes, both his nurses.
But he travels abroad to treat himself. I'm saying, I'm putting on record. I would have mentioned the name of this medical doctor.
No, it's a known fact.
The
it is a known
has
fact.
A medical doctor assigned to him from here.
The presidential physician.
Yes,
that's what it's called. The presidential
a medical corps. A medical corps that follows him everywhere he goes to. Each time he is traveling,
you see ambulance, complete.
The ambulance is
yes.
there, every section, everything is there. Then he still goes abroad. And we are now being told that those doctors will now be flown here.
To join the one.
I think it's an embarrassment.
Okay, because of our time, I also let us also know, because the wife of Mr. President is talking about the president going abroad and so on. Does it mean among those the lieutenants within the presidency, when they get sick and they will be flown abroad? Is that what that means?
No. You see, like I said earlier, the medical complex of Aso Rock is there. What was commissioned was just the presidential wing.
Okay.
Not the entire thing. That is now part of my grouse. That why use this huge sum, humongous sum, to fund only the presidential wing. We are not even told it is for the entire medical complex in Aso Rock. So for those in Aso Rock, it will be business as usual. I said so when I started that if you don't get business there, who know they. If you are not a member of the presidential, the first family, you have no business there. The best you can get is to go to the regular wing. If for any reason, whatever you're suffering from now becomes such that a reference could be made to the presidential wing, of course, that has to be with the express approval of the man wing. If If you know day, you know day. If you know follow, you know follow. It's only the president that can now say maybe, oh, this my security detail, this my aide. I value him so much. He's been a nice boy. He's suffering from. Take him to the presidential wing, and then they'll take him to the presidential wing and treat him as a member of the first family. Yes. That doesn't mean that the next day when he now has malaria, he will go back there. Nobody will talk to him.
Okay, I'll still come to you about that so that we look at the constitutional provisions if it is right or not. But before then, comrade, talking about flying in experts, is there any branch of medicine that Nigerians are not involved as a medical expert? Talking about flying in.
I will be objective. There are things we don't have the facilities for. You understand? Yes, there are things we don't have the facilities for. Sometimes we do have facilities for them, but they are not set of the art. You understand? Facilities. If at all, people like Major and President here legislating or passing laws or bills that would actually address this problem, nobody would have known, perhaps, that the daughter was having internal organ problem. But the challenge there is that since, like council has said, their inability to equip what the resident doctors, what NAC is always complaining, is always agitating, equip these facilities. That you come there, you buy your own kits, you buy your safety gear. It's an aberration. You come to those places to work. A federal government-owned establishment, medical establishment, even in FCT, anywhere, sometimes you buy your own equipment. A nurse was telling me during the COVID that she was the one buying her nose mask. And she was with FMC online. She was buying her nose mask. Now the meaning is that due to this problem now, you understand, the president and the family or whatever, even senators will prepare to go abroad. I think one of the heirs of the president, I forgot whether he said he was sick or something, the president didn't want to travel abroad. I think I forgot it. So that tells you that they don't have faith in the institutions they have run down. And I have said here before that the most underutilized and the most underfunded sections or sectors in our country are two. One, education. Two, health. For which reason, no senator, no governor, no local government chairman, no president, no minister would allow their children to go to schools like state-owned university. They now proceed abroad for further studies. And I said again, for which reason they will treat their ear problem and their tooth abroad because something that Dr. Agnes Wamba can easily handle down here at Songwa Road in Aba. Because they have
begin to fly abroad.
And when you want to study development model or development design, you are told that for you to be named a developing entity, your education sector and your health sector must be robust. You must invest more than double digits. In fact, it's only this year's budget that Buhari invested about 10% of the budget to health, to education. You begin to see, if these two key areas were not underfunded, the president wouldn't have had any need to stay outside the shores of the country for 100 days.
All right.
And I wouldn't be here talking. But I think the National Assembly has a committee on health, and then public finance and the rest of them. Why are these committees not talking? It should have been their duty, because their duty is into three areas. One is lawmaking, two is presentation, then the last is oversight, through which they supervise every agency of government, including the minister or the ministry, going to erect these facilities and all the procurement done to see whether they follow the baseline of what you call the Procurement Act, as in to see that they followed the law.
All right.
And that they did due diligence protocol before award of contracts and what have you.
All right, Council. Now talking about these, the first family, yet, and we know it is very impossible for the president to rule this country alone without those who are working with him, without his lieutenants. Is it constitutional? Is that the way it's supposed to be? Having a particular medical center for just the first family?
It is not everything that you will spell out in the Constitution. So if you're saying, is it constitutional, that may not be in the right direction. But then the Constitution did not prohibit it. And to the extent that the Constitution did not prohibit it, there is nothing against it. Rather, what we should be asking, is it constitutional to deprive the other medical facilities, or indeed any aspect of our polity, of necessary funding? Critical areas like education, comrade said so, health, there are two others: security, agriculture, because you need food security. If you're unable to feed yourself, you'll be there at the whims and caprices of your neighbors. But unfortunately, money is appropriated majorly to one area: security, on paper. And what do? Buy more AK-47, buy more bullets. That is all that we know security to be. That's it. Buy more boots and give to people. At the end of the day, even the police officers still have to pay for their kits. That is why when you see police officers standing on the road, many of them look tattered and do not look, I see some wearing slippers and sandals. But when you see the same police officers assigned to VIPs, you will know that you will start wondering, no, that they can't be from the same Nigeria police. Those ones assigned to VIPs look clean, they look like human beings. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but I am stating an obvious fact that Nigerians know. You see those ones slinging their weapon on the road and looking angry and hungry. Anything for the boys. Oga, we dey here, and so on. So that's not what we are talking about. They should look like these ones that before Buhari comes down, before El Rufai comes down from his vehicle, somebody runs to open the door for somebody, who will not open the door for another person that will not open the door for El Rufai. You remember that incident?
Yes.
Good. Those smart looking officers, those are the ones that I'm talking about. So that is the only thing we spend money on. Appropriate it on paper and then never see it. Go to the budget. That is the point I am making. What is the budget performance index that they have taken regarding the funding for the Aso Rock clinic? There is budget for it. Is budgeted for. It is there clearly in the budget. It was our dear Senator Enyi Abaribe some time ago who opened their stomach. How can you continue having about 80 million naira or 70 million naira budgeted on cutlery every year? It keeps reoccurring. And the National Assembly was passing it. And the most distinguished senator, most vocal, had to ask at the point, are they using golden cutlery? And is it that after we have passed the budget, spend money, allowing them to buy it next year? You know, at the end of the year, they sell off the cutlery, the fork. For cutlery, those who don't know, fork, knives, and spoons. They sell them off, golden ones, and buy new ones. So, what is the budget performance for the budget made for Aso Rock Clinic? Money is appropriated to fund equipment, replacements, repairs. Money is also appropriated to pay not only salaries of the personnel there, but allowances. They are in a privileged position, the personnel working there. So, after all this, somebody has to go abroad to treat toothache that our own dear Dr. Agnes Wamma and his brother Superdent, yes, would easily handle. Even the dental hospital here behind us is one of the best in the country. The personnel they are here, they are very good. The dental clinic in Aba, you have opticians and optometrists everywhere, and you also have you asked him a question: is it that we do not have the personnel. Let me shock you. The best ENT specialists in Nigeria, in the world, are Nigerians. Let me shock you further. One of them is an Igbo man. He's in FMC Umuahia. He consults here in Aba. He's one of the I wouldn't give his name. He is one of the best in the entire world. ENT specialist. It is like that in every aspect. You come to gynecology, the same thing. Some of the very best in the world are Nigerians. You go to Abuja, just a second, please. You go to Abuja, there is the name of this hospital, I've forgotten. One of the best neurosurgeons. Anungwa man here, Dr. Chinihu. He owns one of the best he's one of the best in the world. When you count 1, 2, 3 in any field, and the name of a Nigerian has not featured in one of them, you are getting the index wrong. So all they need, give them their due recognition, provide the proper and enabling environment for them to function, get them the materials they need. We can get all these things. You're talking of kidney transplant. Sometimes when these transplants are booked abroad, the doctors are invited. Do you know the doctors that they invite to do it? Nigerian personnel will now fly. It's when they now get there that they discover, oh, you're going to operate on your relation. Meanwhile, you and the father of the person, you were drinking palm wine the night before. It is like that. Ask those who have had the experience. There is no, I make bold to say, and I stand to be contradicted, there is no aspect of medicine today, none, that Nigerians cannot compete favorably. If the best there is not a Nigerian, the first 3 in the world among them must be a Nigerian. Provide the necessary facilities for them, pay them correctly and properly, and they'll give you the best.
All right, one of viewers, remember the phone line is open now, 09168284994.
To waste our resources.
09168284994. You can now call us and tell us your name, where you're calling us from, then make your contributions or ask questions where there is. All right, comrade, moving forward. From the analysis of the council, do you think this is a result of nepotism, or what they call tribalism, or selfishness? Because if we are clannishness, because if we have all these wonderful experts, why, just like you will always say, that a sitting president who helps to make a budget for both for health and other sectors will now go abroad for a teething problem and an ear problem?
Yes.
So what's the problem?
The problem is not even tribalism. It's not about that. It's about inefficiency and lack of will. Understand? And then corruption. It doesn't have much to do with tribalism, because there are medical doctors from, in fact, virtually every part of this country. Understand? Although we may want to say some parts of the country are more blessed than others, but that's by the way. That's aside. The problem is lack of will to do what? To radically transform the medical sector. I have said it before that the fact that that sector is critically underfunded is intentional. It's intentional. This is Buhari. And when you expect to have the best, the WHO and other rating agencies will come to tell you that life expectancy in Nigeria is 52 or 54, meaning that any 54-year-old person on our street is an elderly person already. That's the meaning.
And about to join his ancestors.
And it's unfortunate. But they will tell you that life expectancy in Denmark is 80-something. You understand? In America it's 70-something. Quite unfortunate. Now, it is not because of tribal sentiment. Tribal sentiment has always been there, but it's not because of tribal sentiment. It is because the people who are ruling this country do not want to measure up with those they claim to be ruling. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Does it not occur to you that the governor of a state who passes through primary schools sees dilapidated primary school structures every day, Commissioner of Education, in fact, I had engaged one Commissioner of Education of this thing over over library in Abahe. He made promises and he let her run away until he stopped being in his ministry. We were saying, you come and equip the Aba library. You understand? Stuff it with books. Let us have copying machines there, or copiers there. Let's have copiers there, so that the facility can generate fund on its own. The man promised us 700 and later ran away. Now the same thing happens at the ministerial level, as it has to do with health. What does the government give to health sector? I'm talking about health sector that covers 36 states and 774 local government councils. Now listen, how many wards do we have in this country? Hundreds of thousands. The law, by standard, by requirement, is that a ward should have a clinic. A clinic, I'm saying clinic, at least first aid. A bit with first aid facilities. Which of them do we even have such thing in this our world now? So it's unfortunate.
In a place like Abia, I'm aware it's now the equipping.
Hello, this is Living Television, Issues of the Moment. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Is that Living TV?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Please, I've been listening to this very discussion. My name is Mrs. Caroline. I'm calling from Abuwe Road, here in Aba.
Okay.
I heard the council say that, mentioning a whole lot concerning gynecologists, the best doctors, at least there are some Nigeria when you mention 1, 2, or 3, which every one of us know that is the truth. Now, I want things to buttress more, like all these things we have been discussing it in this country. The council said the doctors should be equipped, paid well, so that we can return them here in Nigeria. So I've been hearing this so many times. So I want to ask the council as a legal practitioner, is there any other means legally that this thing could be implemented so that we will be saved from all this mess? That's my question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Caroline. Thank you.
Well, Madam, yes. When citizens begin to get alive to their responsibilities, to their rights, then you will begin to see the expected change. Remember, change does not just happen. People make change to take place. And you do not take effect change by adopting a laissez-faire approach or attitude to things. People begin by agitating. Hello, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking of protesting violently or destroying things on the streets, no. But agitation would include asking the necessary questions, doing the necessary write-ups, comments on social media, creating awareness so that other people who might be nursing similar questions in mind might even begin to link up with you, and together you now form a front, send out, there's this thing they say attach your signature or sign, a petition, asking, demanding for a certain position, and then also reaching out to your elected representatives is very important. Many people don't even know who their elected representatives are, particularly in the state houses of assembly. Many do not. Many don't even know their House of Reps representatives. So get to their constituency offices. Start by dropping demand letters, make demands. And by the time they get sufficient of those materials from their constituents, asking and insisting that certain things be done, then they will begin to take action.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sir. All right. You can add.
Thank you.
On that very discussion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Caroline. All right, wonderful viewers. This is the much you are going to take today. From my far left, Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi, what is your parting word on this discussion today?
Okay,
All right, thank you.
my parting word is simple. Let there be more awareness on part of the citizenry, and let us begin to take seriously the issue of health. Let us have robust conversation at National Assembly level. We can't continue having committees on health, committees on public account, committees on special duty, committees on this, whereas many things happen and then are just put under the carpet. So I think we should begin to talk about even laws that will strengthen the medical sector, you understand? And then create the enabling environment for practitioners to thrive in their trade. Thank you.
All right, Barrister, what's your parting word on this?
As citizens, let us begin to sensitize ourselves and hold our elected leaders and representatives accountable. Particularly, let's start from the elected ones. The appointees are usually there at the pleasure of those appointing them. And so you may not really, they are there to do their master's bidding more or less. I'm not saying that makes it right. But for the elected, let's begin to ask questions. Visit the constituency offices of your elected leaders. Start asking them questions. Start making demands on them. Push them. That is the only way they can now begin to push the executive. And let us begin to insist. Everything is not politics. You mustn't shout. The Igbo say that when you see a chicken, using its legs to scratch at excrement, you drive it away. Nobody knows who. You might visit your relation somewhere in Akwa Ibom tomorrow, and you are served chicken. You wouldn't know that was the chicken that was doing that thing. So it can affect anybody. You don't say, no, it doesn't concern me. It's all about them. No. Interrogate and ask the necessary questions.
All right, our wonderful viewers, that's the much we are going to take today. Thank you for being there, and keep watching Living Television. After now, many more of our programs will be coming your way. Don't touch your remote. Keep watching Living TV. And from my far left is Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi, the historian comrade. Thank you for being part of today's program.
Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure.
Barrister Chukwu Emeka Nwago, a practicing lawyer. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, moderator, and goodbye, viewers.
And this is your anchorman, Chinedum Adiele. Keep watching Living TV.
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on Sandview Channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and C.